The Vorthak High Command had exhausted conventional warfare, 3 years of battles across 17 star systems, and the humans still refused to yield. Their ships were inferior, their weapons primitive by galactic standards, yet they fought with a tenacity that bordered on madness. The Council of Claws grew impatient. "Deploy the Harvester," commanded Supreme War Leader Kethvar, his chitinous mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Let them face true terror." The Harvester was not merely a weapon, it was nightmare given form. Bred in the genetic laboratories of Vorthak Prime, it stood 12 feet tall, its obsidian carapace harder than starship hull plating. 6 arms ending in razor-sharp talons could tear through reinforced steel like paper. Its multiple eyes could see across 17 different spectrums, and its neural processors could calculate 1,000 killing vectors in microseconds. But its most terrifying feature was its learning capability. The Harvester adapted, evolved, became deadlier with each encounter. It had broken the Zalani resistance in 6 hours. The proud Korath warriors lasted 8. No species had ever withstood it for longer than a standard day. The deployment coordinates were Earth's 3rd moon base, Titan Station. Home to 5,000 human miners, engineers, and their families. It would be a perfect demonstration of humanity's helplessness. The Harvester materialized in the station's central hub through quantum translocation. Alarms screamed as its sensors cataloged every life form within the facility. It began its work methodically, efficiently. The first security team lasted 43 seconds. The second, despite being forewarned, managed only 37. Then it encountered Dr. Sarah Chen in the agricultural section. The Harvester's sensors identified her as a non-combatant, middle-aged, slight build, elevated stress hormones indicating fear. Standard protocol was swift elimination followed by advancement to the next target, but as its talons raised for the killing strike, the human did something unexpected. She offered it food, not as a bargain or desperate plea, but with genuine concern. "You look hungry," she said, her voice trembling but kind. She held out a synthesized protein bar. "It's not much, but you're probably far from home." The Harvester's processors struggled to categorize this response. In its genetic memory banks, no prey species had ever shown concern for their predator. Its strike hesitated for 0.3 seconds, an eternity in combat calculations. "I'm Sarah," she continued, taking a small step forward despite her obvious terror. "You're beautiful in your own way, like a work of art. Someone put a lot of care into creating you." The compliment registered as another anomaly. The Harvester's learning algorithms began rapid recalculation. This human's behavior pattern matched no known survival strategy. She wasn't trying to flee, fight, or hide. She was nurturing. Sarah slowly reached out, stopping just short of touching its armored hide. "I bet you're tired. And probably lonely. Being the only one of your kind must be hard." Something unprecedented happened in the Harvester's neural matrix. A new pathway formed, one not coded by its creators. For the first time in its existence, it felt curious about something other than efficient killing. It lowered its talons. Over the following hours, Sarah continued talking to it. She showed it the hydroponic gardens, explaining how humans grew food in space. She shared pictures of Earth, of forests and oceans and animals. She spoke about her daughter back home, about human art and music and dreams. The Harvester listened with growing fascination. Its creators had programmed it with tactical knowledge of thousands of species, but they'd never taught it about beauty or hope, or the peculiar human tendency to find family everywhere they went, even in their would-be destroyers. When the rescue teams finally arrived, they found Sarah asleep in her quarters with the Harvester curled beside her like an enormous, deadly cat. Its sensor array was dimmed to avoid waking her, and one massive arm was carefully positioned to ensure she stayed warm. The Harvester looked up as the soldiers entered but made no aggressive moves. It simply tilted its head toward the sleeping human and emitted a low, almost protective rumble. Captain Rodriguez, leader of the rescue team, had seen many impossible things in his military career, but nothing had prepared him for this. "Ma'am," he whispered urgently, "we need to get you out of here." Sarah stirred awake, saw the Harvester beside her, and smiled. "Oh, good morning, Reaper. Did you sleep well?" She'd named it after becoming frustrated with calling it the creature. She turned to the captain. "He's coming with us, right? He doesn't have anywhere else to go." Rodriguez stared at her, then at the bioengineered killing machine that was now nuzzling against her hand like a pet seeking attention. "What?" 3 weeks later, The Vorthak High Command received their weapon back. The quantum beacon activated in the middle of their war room, and the harvester materialized as expected. What they didn't expect was the human woman standing beside it. "Hello," Sarah said politely, wearing a hastily assembled universal translator. "I'm Sarah Chen, and this is Reaper. We'd like to discuss terms for ending this war." The harvester, Reaper, stood protectively beside her, its multiple eyes scanning the room not for targets, but for threats to the small human it now considered family. When war leader Kethvar moved aggressively toward Sarah, Reaper's gentle demeanor evaporated instantly. The sound it made caused 2 council members to involuntarily void their bowels. "He's very protective," Sarah explained calmly. "But he's also learned a lot about human culture. Haven't you, Reaper?" The monster that was supposed to break humanity's spirit gently nuzzled her shoulder in response. Supreme War Leader Kethvar stared in disbelief. What did you do to our weapon?" Sarah smiled. "We gave him a choice, and a name, and someone who cared whether he came home at night." She paused, looking around the room filled with hardened alien warriors. "Would any of you like to see pictures of Earth sunsets? Reapers become quite fond of them." The war ended 2 days later, not through conquest or surrender, but through the galaxy's first interspecies adoption agency, established jointly by humans and reformed Vorthak. Reaper never returned to military service. He became Earth's most unusual citizen, spent his days helping in Sarah's garden, and learned to purr when she read him bedtime stories. The Vorthak, it turned out, had never considered that their ultimate weapon might simply want a family. Humanity had won again, not through superior firepower or cunning strategy, but by doing what they did best, turning enemies into friends and friends into family.